Shit's about to get real. Welcome back, Sawmill, everybody. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and if you can see behind me, we got a monster oak on the mill. It's 14 foot long. I had to trim it down. It was 33 on the butt end. I think I got it so it's going to fit now. It's got a bunch of punky wood on the outside, but I think the center is going to be rock solid. This is a tree that we took down years ago. It's probably one of the first big trees that I moved over here on my trailer. And show you a couple things. Number one, I wanded it and I debarked most of it. I got one metal target in the entire log, and that was it. This big spike. After I took that out, I wanted the rest of it. I don't get a single other target in it, which is really rare. My metal detector goes pretty deep. I'll give you a look at what we got earlier. So these are the 1.5 by 10s by 14 foot, and I got 1/8 out of a flitch. I got another 10 out of a flitch. You can see I have them all tagged. I'll show you why. They came out absolutely beautiful. And this is the plan that I'm working off here. Hopefully you can see this. I can't see through my glasses really well, so I don't know. But you can see the A section in the middle here. Originally it was going to be 5/8 wide, 8-inch boards, but now instead of 5/8 wide, it is 4/10 wide. So there are 8 10s in this. I put 10 10s there, but there's only 8. So the boards that I have over there are going to do this entire middle section of the trailer, and it's 40 inches wide, so it works out perfect. They might have to trim one to get the last one in or whatever, but that's always the case. I always work in from the outsides and trim my middle one just so that I can cut a bevel on it and bang it in really tight. We needed 3 9s on each side for this. This is 13 foot 3 run right here, and it's broken up into 5 foot 3s and 8 footers. And the 8 I think is going to go here. It could get cut up and go down in here too, depending on what I get out of this log right here. So my concentration on this log is going to be 9s, to try to get all the 9s that go here and all the 9s that go here. There's a couple of small sections here that are same dimensions too. And then we'll work on the cut up stuff last. But this is my primary goal. We should have no problem getting our 6 9s to cover these two out of that. And if I got 8 9s, I think that probably would do these two also, these 4. And this whole part of the trailer would be done with just one big 9-inch cant. And then the rest of this here, haven't figured that out yet, but we're going to get going on this beast here. Now I'm waiting on a customer to come out. I just had to edge off a bunch of 1x6s that are waiting for him. He's doing a deck. Well, we're going to get cutting on this log. So I'll get you guys a good view and we'll see how much of it we can get done this afternoon. Now, the outside of this log is pretty punky, but the inside is going to be rock solid. There is no rot in either end. We are going to be trimming off some punky bark on the outside, but I think when we get this thing down into a cube, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous wood. And the only problem with this log is that I think what's going to happen is the turner is going to tear into that punky wood and it's not going to want to turn it, but we're going to find out. So I tried to give you the other view, but it looked a little glary, so we're just going to go from here. Let's start taking it apart until Angel shows up. So we're going to have to whittle this thing down. It's a bear. I don't know what we're going to be like for clearance, but we are going to find out. I'm running that same resharp Stella Cut band. The log overall on this side is pretty flat. It's 18.5. I'm going to try and skim the top off right here. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before, but what we're up against here is if we can get this log turned 90 degrees, all our clearance issues go away. I'm glad I pulled out that piece of metal because I can see the staining. It's absolutely beautiful inside. I'll go ahead and give you guys a look at the wood. That was a pretty good opening face. It didn't take very much at the beginning. I actually could stand to take a flitch, to be honest with you. It's really, really nice inside. Stella cut in, cut great. That's where that nail was. And you can see I'm a little thin down the end down there, so I actually could take one flitch off. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. So we were at 18.5. We're going to come down to 16 7/8. That's 1.5 inches plus 1/8. Take a flitch, throw that in the carriage. All right, now we get a beautiful opening face, gorgeous wood. It's just a beautiful, beautiful inside this tree. The good part is I only needed it from about here down too. Cut beautifully flat. It's just gorgeously solid in here. You'll see it when I flip it. Hopefully it's going to flip it because it's not going to like digging into that punky wood. Now, because I was able to get it 90 degrees, all my clearance issues go away now. Once I cut the top off this, I don't have to worry about clearance again. If I flipped it all the way over, you're still dealing with the same clearance issues you were in the beginning on the sides. But this looks pretty good. Now I can close the mouth down or the throat down. It solves a lot of problems. So let's see if we can get the top taken off this thing. I would imagine Angel's going to be here any minute. Let's try to take it at 22. Let's see if that works. Should have gone a little lower there. I'm so glad I decided to mess with this log. It's kind of a tough decision when you see this thing sitting out there. It's been out there a while and you're like, do I just want to grab some small ones or do I want to deal with this big one? Man, I am glad I dealt with the big one. So I am going to have to take a flitch here. The first flitch I'm going to take 1 inch thick because it's not going to do anything but clean up right here. So there's not going to be an easy way about this. Oh yeah, and I didn't think I can't drop 9 inches. I can only drop 8. That might change the way I cut this. Just see how far this punky wood goes in over here. Pretty good chunk on the corner here. If I take 1.5 inches out of this right now, I bet I end up with an 8. I end up with an 8. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 1.5 inches out of this right now. I'm going to end up with an 8 through here and then maybe 2 chunks down there. So let's take 1.5 inches, lighten it up. So we're at 21. I'm going to come down to 19 3/8. And I think we're back in Spinnetville again. I didn't want to do that, but it's just the way it went. Didn't want to drop it on there like that, but that is the Ladywood Dancewood. So this cut looks like it's going to be about 15 high. That kind of stinks. I kind of like I would like to try it at 16 high so I could maybe split it into 2/8. Probably that's what we're going to do. We're probably going to try it at 16 high and see what happens. See if it cleans up. You can always split it in the other dimension too. So it looks like we got more wood the other way, but at least we can try it. There's no way this is enough. Let's just skin it. It's got to be more like 14. I don't even know if 15 is going to make a difference. So let's drop from 16. Let's go to 14 3/8. Maybe I can steal a short board out of these, out of this one. What's up, honey? Hi. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Black oak.
Black oak.
This is one of the ones that came from your mother's house years ago.
Whoa. I love it.
Yeah, whittling it down.
Nice. Hi, everybody. Okay. I'll see you later.
Okay, I'll see ya. Have fun.
Come on, buddy.
So I'm at 14 3/8. I got to take at least another full 1.5 inches off it. This thing's going to whittle down closer to a 9-inch cant than I thought. Actually, by the time I get done, I might have 9 wide clean in one dimension. There's actually a short board in that. Yeah, I mean, by the time I clean up all that wane in the middle right there in that narrow spot, I think I can get a 9-inch cant out of it in one dimension. So we got to take this down to 12 3/4. We're going to see how big we can get into a max cant because we could always change our dimensions up for the trailer too. 12 7/8 plus an 8 is 12 3/4. So now we only have a teeny little bit of weight on that side. We're going to go ahead and stand this thing up, clean the top up, see what we got left over here. It's only going to affect a couple boards. Might not be a bad idea. Cut this thing at 16 and then flip it up, cut it at 16 and an eighth. Then I can split it in half into 2/8, flip it up and just mill it out into a whole shit pile of 8s. That's probably the best thing to do, I would say. Yep, that's what we need to do. So we're going to flip it up, cut it at 16 and an eighth, split it in half. We don't even, it doesn't, because it's a trailer, it doesn't even need to be exactly 8. So I could just cut it at 16 and then split the line at 8, because they're just fitting boards in it and they're going to shrink. It doesn't really matter. So that probably makes more sense. It'd give me less weighing if I did that. Whilst this is cut long, I'm going to try it right at 16 and then split the line and split it in half at 8. All right, so we got Angel on his way. Now the way that I figure this right now is I'm going to get all the 8s. The outside 2 dimensions are 26 3/4. So if I get 2 10s, if I can cut 2 10s out of these, then it's going to finish. The entire big part of the trailer will be done, and I'll have some extra ones left over for the back part of the trailer. And then tonight I'll have to kind of cipher into it and see where we are. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to split this in half, and we're going to spin it up, and then I'm just going to mill through it and we need 4 8s plus 2 10s to finish the front half of the trailer. That's 16 is 26, and they'd have a couple of little gaps. We're going to get many more than that. We'll get that out of one side, and then we'll have a whole bunch of 8s for the back side of the trailer to figure out our footage, our lineal footage, to see how they need to be broken apart. We're going to be really close to being done with this order after this log. Really close. And after I cut up all this stuff and my little chunks on the ground here. So let's split it in half at 8. You got to cheat the line, so I throw the 16th on both sides. Oh, almost fell down. Starting to get a little wobbly in the knees here in the heat today. I'm going to come down to 8, and we're going to, instead of me lining up the top, I'm going to split the line, so that throws a 16th up and a 16th down. So I'm 12 3/4. 12 3/4. So let's see where 12 3. If 12 3/4 falls on scale, then it's not a big deal. It's really close. I think it is on scale. It is. All right, so let's cut it down till we run out of clearance. Yeah, it's exactly, I don't know how I ended up on scale, but it's exactly the top of the log. So we're going to drop down to 11 8. I'm pretty optimistic that we have the whole trailer here. I think we're really, really close. I only need 4 of these and 2 10s out of there. And we've got a big chunk of 8s coming off this at 14 feet just to fill the back part of the trailer. And it's all cut up. It's all little sections and 2 ramps. I think we're really, really close. So I'll be tagging these. I'm tagging them in 2 different colors because what happens if they don't pick up for a couple of weeks, the crayon will kind of fade. And by the time they do it, if they don't do this trailer for a month or something, sometimes they have a hard time seeing the marks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape this off. I'll show it to you. There's rays all over this one. My center cut where I split this in half went right through the pith on both ends. So the log was nice and balanced. I'm getting no tension really. These would be awesome timber frame beams right here. Big old 8 by 12s out of oak. And I'll give you a look at it because I know that I'm going to finish up tomorrow. I'm going to finish these cuts and get these all on the stack. The problem is I don't know where they go yet. That's why I haven't tagged. Those are my 4 Bs. And then I need 2 10s. But you look across the wood here, you can see the rays. I can't see through the viewfinder, so you're going to take my word for it. It's all rays down here, all rays over there. Not that it matters on a trailer deck. But as far as cutting flat goes, I wonder if I could give you a look down the corners here. There are absolutely 0 waves in this board. Let me get the other side, it's cleaner. Look at that. Absolutely 0 waves. It's cutting perfectly flat, perfectly smooth. It's knocking the sawdust out. It's doing a hell of a job. So I got to do some ciphering rather than having you guys just watch me make those last few cuts right there, because I can't put those boards away until I know where they're going to go to know how to tag them. And I can't cut the rest of the cant out until I do that. So I hope that was fun watching big, crazy big log like that get shaved down and have all the punky wood shaved off and end up with beautiful beams like this. And I can't tell you how happy I am that there was nothing inside that log, no rot, no nothing. That's incredible that this log worked out that way. I'm really happy right now that I cut this log, because I think by the time I cut 1, 2, 3, there's like 4 more here, so I'm gonna have 8 just to do the back of the trailer, the ramps. These are 14 feet long. It's gonna get me really, really close. And if I take all the little chunks that I took off, I'll have to show you. So all the little chunks like that one and those 3 over there, those can all be edged down to fit in the back where the pieces are small. And then of course we need 2 10s out of here, so we'll take the biggest 2. I have a feeling it's going to be the one on the bottom, and I don't know, one of the other 2. We'll get 2 10s out of there. That'll take care of the back half of the trailer. And by the time we edge off all the little ones and we cut that out, we're going to be wicked close. Look at the grain on that, how nice and straight it is. So yeah, you can see how, you saw me taking them off. You can see how little sawdust there is on them. So this went great. Thank you guys for coming along for the ride here. I hope that you not seeing these few cuts right here takes away from the video for you. I try to make my videos more about the process, I guess, than anything else. I think, oh, I forgot. I've already got a bee over there. I got another extra one. So what I'll do is I'll leave them. I'll give them an extra B. I forgot that. I didn't need 4. I only needed 3. I already got one over there. So I got to do some ciphering is what I got to do. I got to figure out how I'm going to break the 14 feet apart to fit into the back of the trailer chunks, and how many 14 footers it's going to take to cover it, so that I can tag them appropriately. Like this one's C, a D, and an E, and then they'll know to cut them at the right lengths when they go to put them in. This will make handling them a lot easier. And last time I cut the whole order apart because we cut that, if you remember that big, huge white oak log, that chunky white oak log, you know, that ended up with a whole bunch of different size stuff. So I had to break it apart to figure out where I was. This is going a little bit more simple. It's just basic lineal feet and making sure that the chunks, so you gotta get some like 53 inches and some 56 inches. So that's 9 foot, and that's gonna be 9 of it. And then there's some little 24s and 25s. And so I got to do some measuring to figure out how it's going to break apart per board before I offload them. And I can't offload them unless I put them up on sawhorses right now, which I could do. I could take one of those, put it up on a sawhorse, put these 2 on sawhorses, so that I can come in and grab them with the Bobcat after I measure them out and mark them up. It's not a horrible idea. It's probably what I'll do. So again, thanks for the watch. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so when I upload a video, it tells you that I did. If you need something from Norwood, please just copy and paste my affiliate link out of the description to your browser. It'll take you right to Norwood and somehow keeps count of people that go to Norwood that watch my video, and it helps me out, helps channel out. We want to definitely keep growing, and Danny's off at doggy daycare, so I can't show him off. And not doggy daycare, it's a veteran social group, veterans dog social group. He meets with other dogs and they play little games and teaches them not to be aggressive and things like that, and gives the veterans fun time with their dogs, makes their dogs more obedient, because some of them are service dogs and they need to be obedient. So that's it. And for now, some tired ass sweaty Pirate Solutions out. All right, quick little update here. I think I'm done. So as I ciphered through this thing, I've covered all this part. I was just cutting C, D's, and E's, C, D's, and F's, C, D's, and F's, E's, and F's over here, C, D's, and I's. There's one little cross piece right here on both sides, so I cut those. And the 10-inch ones that go in here to make up the 8, 8, and the 10 are coming out of these, because these are 15 feet long. I thought that they were 13s, they're 15s. So I got enough for the 4 10s that go in there. So this is done, this is done, this, these are all done. This A right here is done, and all I have to fill is this G and H with what's sitting on the bench right now, which I have plenty, and I have to cut 2 10-inch wide ones out of flitches over there on the ground. So that's it. I'll give them at least an extra board. But I just wanted to fill you in. Hopefully you saw the hyperlapse of me just blasting through the CDIs and the CDEs and the CDFs. And I think that log did it. I think we did a good job. So I'll add this in. I've already done the Pirate Solutions Out thing. So thanks for the watch. Pirate Solutions Out ×2.